Teeka Tiwari was on this program a few months ago, and he made a very bold prediction. And I said, don't do it, Teeka, don't do it. And he said cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in particular, is going to be at 40,000 by the end of the year. It's kind of gone in the opposite direction. When he said that it was maybe 7,000, it is now today at 3,900. I called him and I was like, so Teeka, what's the deal? And I want you to hear his answer because I think it's logical. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I think it's totally logical. Teeka, welcome to the program. How are you?
Glenn, I'm great. Thanks for having me here.
You bet.
And thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about really two things today. One, my Bitcoin $40,000 prediction, what's going on with Bitcoin right now. And two, why the selling is not over. And I want to explain what's behind that.
Okay.
So,
because I've set a price to where I want to buy more Bitcoin. I don't know if that makes me a double sucker, but I'd like to hear what you think the low price or when you think it's going to start to hit towards bottom. But
okay, the first thing I want to talk about, though, is Bitcoin 40K. So
yes.
Whenever I'm asked a question, I will always tell somebody what I truly believe, even if it could come back to make me look foolish later. I hate it when people talk out of both sides of their mouth. Well, maybe it'll do this, maybe it'll do that. I want to know what you believe, and then so I can make up my own mind. And
you said to me, you said to me the night you made this prediction, I said off air, I said, Teeka, what are you doing? Don't do that. And you said, Glenn, I have to because that's what my analysis says. So I'm just telling you what the facts tell me. You can believe it or not.
Right. Because every fundamental reason that I forecasted behind my projection of Bitcoin 40K came true. I said a major endowment would buy Bitcoin. On October 5th, David Swensen of the $30 billion Yale endowment bought into crypto. Then Harvard and Stanford followed him. I said Wall Street would open up their trading platforms and provide custody for crypto. Now Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, the owners of the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ have all announced plans to start trading Bitcoin. Northern Trust is creating a custody product, and even State Street, America's largest custodian, is getting active in the States. So what's the piece I got wrong, right? So all the fundamental research that said, okay, all these new players are coming into space, everything that I predicted came true. But the one piece that I got wrong, that I'm absolutely willing to own 100%, is I got the investor sentiment piece wrong. I misunderstood just how bad investor sentiment was. The market does not believe anything but bad news right now. It's just taking the stance of, well, okay, yeah, Fidelity, okay, great, let's see it actually happen. Now, all of these things are actually happening. The last time, Glenn, I saw such a disconnect between the fundamentals and investor sentiment was an Apple computer back in 2003. Back in 2003, everybody thought Apple Computer was going out of business. They had the hottest product in the world, the iPod. They said they were going to open it up to the PC realm. Nobody believed them. The stock actually dropped 40% that year. Jeez. It wasn't until 2004 when they actually opened it up to the PC realm and their sales started going gangbusters that Apple stock started taking off. So, again,
what do you think it's going to take to change the investor sentiment?
We're going to have to see this new platform by Bakkt, which is ICE, the owner of the New York Stock Exchange. That has to launch. That's going to be launching on July 24th. We're going to have to see Fidelity launch their custody product and actually integrate Bitcoin trading into their desktop platform. That's going to launch between Q1 and Q2. TD Ameritrade has said that they're going to add Bitcoin trading to their platform. We're going to have to actually see it, right? The market is taking the stance of we need to see this happen. So but the good news is all of that is going to happen within Q1 and Q2 of 2019. All of those institutions are coming into the space. Not a single one of these institutions has said, oh, we don't like the way Bitcoin's trading, we're pulling out. In fact, NASDAQ just said, well, we don't care Bitcoin's going down. We're moving full ahead with our Bitcoin products. Fidelity has said the same thing. TD Ameritrade has said the same thing. Not a single institution in the space has backtracked on their plans to open up their trading platforms to Bitcoin buyers. And that, to me, is the news that we have to look at, because the news that's dominating the market right now is all this forced selling of Bitcoin and Ethereum that's happening because ICOs are coming under the regulatory magnifying glass of the SEC.
Hey, Teeka?
The SEC is... Yes,
I apologize for jumping in, but I do have a question I'm burning to ask you. I'm Andrew Heaton. I'm the delightful funny man that's accompanying Glenn today.
Hey, Andrew.
Something that I want to ask someone that knows cryptocurrency very well about is why it's not being adopted in places like Venezuela. Because one of the selling points of cryptocurrencies, I understand it, is that it's inflation proof, and the government, if the government decides to implode a currency to inflate away the debt, your value would not be lost. But I don't see any stories of mass adoption of cryptocurrency in Venezuela. Why isn't that happening?
Oh, it is happening. That's how people are living. People are living. They're taking Bitcoin and buying gift cards on Amazon, ordering goods on Amazon, and that's how they're surviving. The two top currencies in Venezuela right now are Bitcoin and another one called Dash. In fact, there's more than 22,000 people, 22,000 businesses now just using cryptocurrency down there because you can't use cash. It's completely worthless.
At one point, they were literally. I read a story about how shopkeepers were weighing piles of money instead of counting it. They would weigh it by the pound, or probably by the kilometer or whatever that
kilo.
The kilo, yes. Yes. But to talk to you about the price action right now, if you remember back in 08 and 09, we had all that forced margin selling, right? So you had great companies like American Express trading below $10, which is ridiculous. Nobody wants to sell American Express at $9, but they had to because they had margin calls.
This is in 2008.
2008, 2009.
Yeah.
So we're seeing something similar right now happen with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Thousands of companies raised money, and there were only two ways to do it. You had to raise it in either Bitcoin or Ethereum. Well, now the SEC saying, well, all of you guys broke the law. You're actually securities. Now we're going to fine you, and you're going to have to give money back to your investors. So there's this huge rush of where the lawyers are saying, look, guys, you've got to raise cash and you've got to do it right now. And so there's this massive forced liquidation of Bitcoin and massive forced liquidation of Ethereum. Now, how long does that last? Probably a few weeks more, Glenn. That's not a 1, 2, 3 thing and done. So that's why I say, let's take a step back. Let's get this forced selling out of the way. And then I think the dust will settle here probably in about a week or two.